she was a different player. So were her teammates. So there's this tendency in even really good programs in schools to not help kids gain proactive control of the situation and have a long-term view. Simple test, all of you are teaching now. Ask kids to self-assess right now, now's a good time, January, against your goals for the year. What is her goal for the year? I mean, that's what's going to happen. And they're going to cherry pick some random little things, and you're going to be depressed. But that's a good experience. That's a really good experience. It's the kid who has to meet the goals. It's the kid that has to understand via transparency and reinforcement the long-term goals. So critical and creative thinking, to go back to our example, is a goal. Then that should be so obvious that the kids will self-assess against critical and creative thinking. Let's try it as a quick and dirty exercise. Think, pair, share. If you had to write a one-sentence mission statement for your course, what would it be? Jot some thoughts, try it out on the person next to you. One-sentence mission statement. What is the point of my course? And I'm using the word course to cover everything from pre-K to graduate school, from soccer to physics. If you are an elementary person, you could think of course in either one of two ways. You could say, what's the point of what I do with first graders? Or what's the point of the language arts strand? Or the social studies strand. So you can go either way there, since you have so many duties. Let me ask you to pause for a minute. And let's do a little bit of backward design thinking. And then this is the basic logic of backward design. We'll say more about it later, and many of you know this. If that's the goal, what follows? If that's the long-term goal, what follows? What follows for assessment? What follows for instruction? Go back to your conversations and just together play out casually and informally at this point the answers to those questions as they occur to you. If that's the goal, what should we be assessing? And by assessing, I do not mean grading. I mean assessing. Just like you would do as a soccer coach. You don't give a grade as a varsity, well, maybe in some schools you do. I never did. But you're assessing. You're judging how we're doing against the goal. You're coaching. You're giving information about how we're doing against the goal. So what should we assess? And what should we be doing instructionally? Or what should occur in the classroom? And let me tell you one quick story before we do it. When I asked this question, and a fourth grade teacher pulled me over, and she said, well, there's two parts to my answer. I want students to be good readers, but more importantly, I want them to love to read. I said, let's just focus on the love to read. We know something about how to make good readers, but focus for me on love to read. What would be evidence that they love to read? And what do you have to do instructionally to make it more likely that they love to read? And I said, be careful. Requiring them to do everything isn't likely to cause it. In fact, it may undercut it. We know this about boys. So that's the caution. If that's your goal, what's the assessment? What needs to happen instructionally to support and head toward your goal? So somebody go first, do it together, then somebody go second, do it together. 5-10 minutes.